Is it actually possible for a famous personality to fake their death and live their life out in some remote place? Who has actually ever done it and gotten caught? Not a famous person, but in the UK we had a man who pretended to go out canoeing one day, then drowned. They never found his body and his widow collected his life insurance and pensions. Years later he comes back to the UK saying he got lost at sea and had amnesia. Everyone is happy until an investigation is carried out and turns out he and his wife planned this and he'd been living in the house next door for years. It was all to avoid bankruptcy and collect the insurance money. The only reason he came back was because they wanted to move to Panama together. https://n.wikipedia.org/wiki/John_Darwin_disappearance_case. There were a bunch of famous Germans who were later found under different names in Argentina. I mean, you don't even have to fake your death, you can just go to a different country and never be heard from again. No, but they usually just stay out of the limelight and stop taking work. Gene Hackman did this so well he and his wife died with no one knowing for a while. Elvis did it. He was flipping burgers at Burger Lord in Des Moines for years. I asked my neighbor, Mr. Mojo Risen, he said no way no how. Haven't seen him since. Agatha Christie, the crime/detective author, left an abandoned car so that people thought she'd committed suicide. She was found alive 11 days later a few hundred miles away. Olivia Newton-John's partner Patrick McDermott disappeared in 2005. Apparently now living on a boat off the coast of Mexico. Probably not now with forensics, social media, and everyone having cameras in their pockets. Before all that, disappearing would have been pretty easy and faking your death would have been the hard part. That's almost the plot of the Bubba Hotep movie. Yes. Epstein survived and it's Palm Beach Pete. Yeah. Go ask around Argentina and Brazil. Krusty the Clown almost got away with it. For years after Andy Kaufman's death in 1984 there were rumors that he had faked his death and was living under a new identity. Doing something of the sort would not have been out of character for him, and his supposed death seemed a bit odd as 35-year-olds seldom die from lung cancer. In reality, though, he really did die. Why fake your death? Why not just move somewhere remote, change your hairstyle and live under a different name? Yeah, it's totally possible, but the logistics must be a nightmare. A few people have tried and failed, but it's honestly not as common as conspiracy theories would have you believe. Most just can't resist the urge to pop up again. Not quite, but John Stonehouse, a British politician, sprung to mind. https://n.wikipedia.org/wiki/John_Stonehouse. A number of Nazis got out of Germany and fled to South America. They didn't fake their deaths, but some weren't ever caught. Whitey Bulger did it for 16 years despite being an FBI most wanted fugitive. He was only caught due to a multimillion-dollar reward on his head. So I think it's still doable. That one episode of Hey Arnold that for some reason is a core memory for me. Eddie and the Cruisers explored this theme. Author Ken Kesey, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, faked his own death to get out of a weed charge. He lasted 8 months. Ended up serving about 6 months, if I remember correctly. People asking me if I can fake my own death, but Noon is asking me if I'm faking my own life. Elvis has gotten away with it so far. Gerald Cotton, ex-CEO of Quadragax. Lots of conspiracies on that one. Lord Lucan managed it. Granted it's a while ago now, but a pretty successful vanishing act. The problem is that everyone wants to be a recluse until they realize how much they miss being able to order food or go to a hospital without being recognized. J.D. Salinger. Pretty much disappeared after Catcher in the Rye. People knew where he lived. But this was the days someone could say, "Go away and leave me alone," and could be left alone. Possible, sure, but more likely is to just get a name changed to something bland and very common, alter their appearance and retire somewhere. But celebrities have a really hard time letting go of being a celebrity, no matter how much they complain about it. https://n.wikipedia.org/wiki/tabo_bester, https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/tabo_bester. Mark Lynn Baker did it, but he got caught down in Mexico. British politician John Stonehouse faked his own death but was later discovered in Australia. Michael Rockefeller, son of Nelson Rockefeller and heir to a vast fortune, was either eaten by cannibals or lived out his life among them depending on who you ask. Vince McMahon of WWE fame faked his death as part of a wrestling storyline involving Donald Trump that got aborted when that Chris Benoit happened. I am sure a lot of not very smart people believe that Jerry Bollysock, a wrestler known as Mr. X, convinced authorities who were hunting him that he died in the Jonestown massacre. For many years, John Stonehouse, a British politician, tried to fake his death, unsuccessfully. Patrick McDermott, Olivia Newton-John's boyfriend, may have faked his death. It's possible but totally unnecessary. If you want out of the spotlight, you just go out of the spotlight. Stop doing whatever made you famous, move somewhere remote, and very soon people will leave you alone. John Stonehouse MP managed to get away with it briefly, though many people were never convinced he was actually dead. Funnily enough, he only got caught as he'd left Australia for a brief visit to Hong Kong and came back with a lot of cash. The Australian police were, of course, quite suspicious and contacted the UK for details of two people, John Stonehouse and Lord Lucan. Had he worked out a better method of moving cash around, he may have been discovered a lot less sooner. Joseph Mengele did it. Never got caught. It is an older example, before modern media, but an intriguing one nonetheless. There is fairly strong evidence that the notorious pirate Jean Lafitte retired to the town of Lincolnton, North Carolina, where he lived out his days under an assumed name. There was a wealthy man with a murky past by the name of Lorenzo Ferrer who showed up in Lincolnton a short time after Jean Lafitte was reported to have disappeared somewhere in the Caribbean. The book, Jean Lafitte Revealed, details the story and evidence. His grave is still there to see. Olivia Newton-John's husband. In a world where everyone has a camera and the internet never forgets, staying hidden might be harder than faking the death itself. If I had the money to fake my death, I'd be sipping cocktails on a beach and waving at the paparazzi from my secret island, so yeah, I totally believe it's possible. Almost 100 comments and nobody has mentioned Andy Kaufman yet. If they were truly successful, we'd never know. I wonder about Epstein. The canoe guy is wild, but he's small potatoes compared to what actual celebrities could pull off. Like, Andy Kaufman literally made his entire career out of faking his death being plausible, and people still think he might have done it. The difference is money and infrastructure. Some billionaire with private islands and shell companies could vanish and we'd never know, tbh. Well, not death, but as Hyde says in his own words, in Japan, heart surgeon. Number 1. Steady hand. One day, Yakuza boss need new heart. I do operation. But, mistake. Yakuza boss die. Yakuza very mad. I hide in fishing boat, come to America. No English, no food, no money. Daryl give me job. Now I have house, American car, and new woman. Daryl save life. My big secret, I kill Yakuza boss on purpose. I good surgeon. The best.